The movie begins with a TV host inviting us to enjoy movies in a personal theater. We are then introduced to the story of Return of the Killer Tomatoes. In the past, tomatoes attack Earth, seeking to dominate it. Brave soldiers engage in warfare, resulting in many human casualties. In the present, we meet a mad scientist named Gone Green and his assistant, Tara. Gone Green requests a glove and retrieves a tomato from a chemical jar. Placing the tomato on a cylindrical vessel, Gone Green instructs Tara to wear headphones. He then asks Tara for a coin to initiate the experiment. To their astonishment, the tomato undergoes a miraculous transformation, morphing into a muscular man. Gone Green is happy with this success. The following morning, we see Chad, a young man who works at his family's pizza restaurant alongside his friend. In a hurry, Chad rushes to deliver a special pizza. Upon arrival, we see that he is at the scientist's home. Tara opens the door and receives the delivery. Chad, who has a crush on Tara, tries to strike up a conversation with her. He asks why she lives with the scientist, wondering if she is his daughter and why they always stay inside the house. Tara reveals that Gone Green is her lover and introduces Chad to 3 more people working for the scientist. With this, Chad decides to leave. Back at the restaurant, Chad's friend Matt is present. Chad's uncle watches the news about tomato smugglers, causing everyone to become scared and request a channel change. This leads to a humorous fight between Matt and the uncle. Chad comes back and tells his best friend about the girl he met, revealing that Tara is the old scientist's girlfriend. His friend can hardly believe the luck of the old man. Uncle Wilbur begins reminiscing about his days at war with tomatoes, recounting how he saved the world from an apocalypse. Somehow, he discovered the tomato's weakness, which was music. Upon playing the puberty song, all tomatoes began shrinking, leading to their victory in the war. President Press Secretary Jim Richardson was arrested in the tomato conspiracy, leading to his imprisonment. Back in the present, in the mad scientist's lab, Tara is doing cleaning work when she accidentally hits the scientist's pet snake. He scolds her for being careless, unaware that Tara has developed emotions despite being a tomato. Tara starts crying, revealing her newfound emotions. The scientist scolds her again, stating that emotions are for humans only, not vegetables. We are then introduced to another tomato named Igor. The scientist instructs Igor to follow and assist him. He explains that music is no longer the weakness of the new tomatoes, and they will not shrink upon hearing it. In the lab, the scientist faces difficulties and ends up creating a defective tomato. He orders Igor to dispose of it. Unbeknownst to him, Tara overhears the conversation. At college, Matt organizes a date with the superstar Rob Lowe, attracting many girls for registration. Chad arrives there, feeling depressed about Tara. Matt confesses the truth to Chad about his scheme of organizing the date. It's a scam, and Matt actually wants a beautiful girl for himself. Chad tries to stop him and warns him of the consequences, but Matt insists that he will tell the winner the truth and offer himself to the runner-up. Later that night, Tara goes outside and saves her defective brother, whom she names Fuzzy Tomato, FT. Despite the heavy rain, Tara decides to run away with FT and arrives at Chad's pizza shop. Chad is surprised to see her and initially thinks he's dreaming. However, he soon realizes his luck and the presence of the girl he likes. Tara expresses her desire to make love with him, which surprises Chad. He wants to talk with her first. Tara reveals that she left the scientist's house and now wants to live with Chad because she has no one else. She doesn't mention her brother FT. She tells him that she's willing to do anything to make him happy. Chad calms her down and explains that it's not the right place for such actions. Tara then asks him to take her to his home. Chad is reluctant because he lives with Matt, but since Matt is on a date that night, he accepts Tara's offer happily. The next morning, Matt returns home and heads straight to the bathroom to share details of his date, unaware that Tara is inside. Tara emerges from the bathroom and asks for a towel. Matt is surprised and rushes to find Chad, informing him that there's a beautiful woman in the bathroom. Chad is still half convinced that it was a dream, but he's also surprised to find Tara in his home. Tara asks if she can use the kitchen to prepare breakfast for them as well. Matt is happy for his friend and tells Chad that he's found the perfect girl. Meanwhile, the scientist discovers that his slave is missing. He orders Igor to find the girl at any cost. Additionally, he instructs Igor to go to the prison and collect the raw materials for his experiment. Igor, with his garbage truck, sets out to find Tara's whereabouts. He heads to the prison to pick up the smuggled tomato, then goes to meet Richardson. Igor informs Richardson that Gone Green is almost ready with his tomato force and that they plan to attack the prison in a few days to free him. Chad and Tara grow very close to each other and fall in love. However, Tara's peculiar behavior starts to frustrate Chad as she constantly focuses on shopping for cooking and lovemaking items. Suddenly, Tara spots a grocery store, and they go inside. Tara purchases organic nourishment, surprising Chad. While inside the store, they hear voices coming from the storeroom. They discover a smuggler attempting to smuggle tomatoes to the owner. Chad is angry that some people still eat those killer tomatoes. Tara defends the tomatoes, arguing that they have a right to exist like other vegetables because whatever happened is history. Igor reports back to the scientist about Tara. The scientist orders him to kidnap her and bring her back. The next morning, Matt tells Chad that his girlfriend is strange. Meanwhile, Tara is playing with FT when he suddenly falls down. Tara rushes to save him, with Chad and Matt following her. Outside, FT is picked up by a garbage truck and subjected to rough treatment by the people. One woman spots him, and everyone wants to kill anything that resembles a tomato. Tara and Chad arrive just in time to save FT from the angry crowd. Tara grabs FT and runs, with people giving chase. A news reporter notices the commotion and wants to cover the story, but the people get distracted by seeing themselves on TV for the first time, allowing Tara and Chad to escape with FT. Chad and Matt confront Tara about the strange thing, and she explains that FT is her pet. Meanwhile, Igor watches their conversation from a distance. Chad, still puzzled, presses Tara for more information about her unusual pet. Suddenly, the director calls out the cut. The scene shifts, revealing the entire crew of the movie shoot. The director expresses concern about the lack of funds for salaries, but Chad and Matt are determined to continue. Matt suggests incorporating product placements into the scenes to generate promotional money. With the issue resolved, the story continues. Chad arrives at the shop and confides in Matt about his growing concerns regarding Tara. Matt advises him to love her and not to doubt her, even though she may seem a little strange. Chad and Matt notice a truck outside, and Chad tells Matt that he's been seeing the same truck everywhere. He suspects that the driver may be spying on him. In the next scene, Chad follows the truck to an unknown location. He observes Igor filling a container with a strange chemical and then follows Igor back to the scientist's place. Chad manages to evade the guards and witnesses the scientist's experiment. He is shocked by what he sees and how the scientist is able to transform tomatoes into humans and back again using music. He realizes the reason why Tara left, as she was his assistant. Chad returns and tells Matt about what he saw, but Matt doesn't believe him. Determined to find out the truth, Chad goes to his room to confront Tara. However, he finds Tara eating organic fertilizer with her pet. Shocked, Chad screams, and Tara, equally shocked, runs away. Outside, Igor is waiting to kidnap Tara. In the chaos, Tara drops FT. Chad is devastated to discover that Tara is also a tomato and a creation of the scientist. He confides in Matt and tells him everything. Despite still not fully believing Chad's stories, Matt decides to help his friend find Tara because he knows how much Chad loves her. Together, they return to the vegetable store, where Chad talks to the tomatoes, hoping to find Tara among them. Suddenly, they spot the same smuggler smuggling FT and a tomato. Chad steals FT and the tomato, believing he has found Tara and her pet. That night, Chad plays music in an attempt to convert Tara back to normal. However, the tomato remains unchanged. Chad ponders a solution and suddenly gets an idea. Chad and Matt go to the scientist's house and perform the same experiment on the tomato they stole. However, the tomato does not transform into Tara. Suddenly, the scientist arrives with Igor. He converts the person back into a tomato and destroys it. Chad mourns, believing Tara to be dead. Scientists lock them inside his storeroom, where they find Tara. Chad is overjoyed, but they all are worried about how they can escape. As they discuss their plan, they hear a voice. FT comes to the rescue, and Tara recognizes his voice. They instruct him to go to Uncle Wilbur and deliver a letter explaining the situation. The scientist places Matt and Chad inside the converting chamber and sets a timer, intending to transform them into tomatoes. He leaves with Igor and Tara to attack the prison. Uncle Wilbur arrives at the scientist's place after he leaves. FT distracts the guards, allowing them to enter. Uncle Wilbur rescues Matt and Chad just in time, but their mission is far from over. At the prison, the scientist orders Igor to place tomatoes, which he then transforms into muscular guards to break open the prison gates. Chad and his team also arrive at the prison. They enter and confront the guards. Before the guards can start firing, FT switches off the lights, allowing Chad and his team to destroy the tomato guards in the dark. The scientist, frustrated, starts to run away and puts Tara in a gas chamber. Igor throws a hand grenade, but FT sacrifices himself to minimize the impact of the explosion. The police arrest the scientist, and Chad bids a final goodbye to Tara, unable to open the chamber. After some time, Matt finds the button to the chamber and Tara emerges unharmed. They discover that because she is a vegetable, she is able to survive in the gas chamber. The scientist attempts to convert her into a tomato again, but he fails. In anger, he reveals that Tara is now a normal human due to the gas reaction. Tara hears the voice of FT and is relieved to learn that he only lost some fur and survived the grenade impact. FT, Chad, and his team are hailed as heroes for saving humanity. Chad goes on a date with Tara in his car. In the final scene, we see Matt alone, converting mini tomatoes into beautiful girls before destroying the lab. So that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more amazing recaps.